Good morning. My name is Anand Samuel, and I'm from India, currently living in Australia. I just finished my master's recently. A few weeks ago, Pastor David Pretty reached out to me and asked me to make a video um, testimonying um, testifying my faith in God and how He has changed my life. And one of the biggest miracles He has done in my life was very early in my age. In fact, I was in the womb when the Lord first touched me. See, I hope I can make this clear and short because it is a long story which was told to me by my father, and I believe I could fit it all in this one video. Um, early in my dad's life, he was called to do the ministry, and he was from a different religious background, but he trusted the Lord's call, and he knew that the Lord had a purpose in his life, and he dedicated his life to the Lord and started serving Him at a very young age. And when he was in his mid 20s, I believe, he got married, and my mom conceived me, and I was the first child they expected in the family. God's amazing grace was with them, and but my dad was not financially sound, and he couldn't support my mom as well as other people would normally do, which was really hard back in those days. And one day, my parents received the shock of their life when the doctors told that I would be handicapped, um, and that they have to expect and live with it, and the doctors couldn't do anything about it. They said there's no medical facility back in those days that could actually help my condition. And they told me that I would be handicapped and disabled in my legs, and I couldn't walk properly or run, for the matter of fact. My father is a strong and man of God, as he is right now. But he prayed for me 40 days and night, and and asked God for a miracle in his life. He hasn't asked God for anything since he entered the ministry, except for His grace and mercy. But the first time he asked God to do something in his life was me. And he prayed and he fasted for 40 days and nights, and he asked God that if I was born, or if I turn out to be normal, He would dedicate me to the Lord, and I would serve Him till I live. And that was the promise that my dad made for a miracle that he wanted. And as you could already imagine, my mom went through the whole 9 months, and the day of delivery was the most anxious and the most nerve-wracking day in their life, because it's the moment of truth. And when the doctors delivered me, my parents didn't ask if I was a boy or a girl. They wanted to know if I was normal. And this just really impacted my life when they told me that God can change any circumstance and make it favorable to us. I mean, God has done so many other things in my life, but this testimony has hugely impacted me in a very personal way. The doctors did tell my parents that I was normal, and my parents told me that some of the doctors were really amazed by how this something like this could ever happen. I mean, this is a medical miracle, and they were really, really surprised. But my dad knew that it came from the Lord, and since then he has dedicated me to the Lord, and he has instructed me, and he has asked me that I have to serve the Lord, and I believe that I have been called by the Lord, and he has blessed me in so many other ways. And I hope this video actually serves its purpose by encouraging you that no matter what situation we are in, no matter who we are, what we are, God's unconditional love is just on us. And it is going to make us and mold us into something where we have a purpose in Him and in this world. I would like to encourage you to trust in the Lord and lay not on your own understanding, because He is going to do mighty things in our life. And I was born normal, and after that my whole life has been a blessing, and God's amazing grace was in my life. I've seen His grace in every stage of my life, in my school, in my high school, in my pre-university, in my university, when I came to Australia, and I knew no one in this place, and God's amazing grace has been through me. And I believe it's because I kept Him first in my life. I trusted Him, and I believe He has a place for me in His ministry. I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure God is going to reveal it to me. And my parents named me Anand Samuel. Well, the first name is Indian, which has meaning. All Indian names have a meaning. And Anand means joy or happiness. And they believe that I brought happiness and joy into the family. And it's just amazing how God can change your life. And if you think about His love, His amazing unconditional love that He has given us, it is just so overwhelming, and it makes me so humble in front of His presence. And I hope God will do a miracle in your life and in your family's life. And I hope His purpose will be revealed to you. Everything happens for good for those who love the Lord. And I hope God does a huge miracle in your life. I will pray for you, and I will pass on your prayer request to my family members. And I've been through the same. I know how my parents felt, and I know how you feel. And I would like to say that God can do anything. There's nothing that He can't do. Even when the medical, the science failed, God's amazing grace and His love and His compassion could change things. It just makes things happen. And I hope the Lord will be with you, and I will pray for you. I hope the testimony was of use to you and your family, and hopefully things will go well. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope I was clear. And I will stay in touch with Pastor David Pretty, and I will ask him to update me with how things are going on with you. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye.